Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
The Great Wall of China is an older game from Fantasy Flight. It's in a Silverline package, so small and portable. And it's going to be a game by Renier Kniza, which is going to be a math game, right? You can have cards with numbers on them, and you're trying to get the most numbers and hold that area for an entire round. The game is going to have some cards that will have powers that will be utilized, and the icons are simple and they're clean, but I really wish this game had a player aid that kind of showed the players exactly what all those do. It's not a lot of them, but for such a light game, you're going to want to play this with people who may not be gamers, and this will be an aspect of the game that may be troubling for people who are non-gamers, not used to these additional powers. Other than that, I find this to be a fine light filler. It's one of those games that almost gets lost in the mess of so many games. The theme of Great Wall isn't something that really comes through, doesn't really speak to me. It's not something I'm like, I really need a good Great Wall game. It's okay. Thematically, it works that you're, guarding it for the barbarians, I guess, or whatever. Then that's fine. It's a fun game. I think if people play this, they'd be like, yeah, that's pretty good. And then they'll sit on your shelf for a while and you'll forget about it. And that's what we did. So for me, it's going to be a Purge. I don't think there was enough that kind of pulled me in. There's a lot of these counting games and which number should I go after, which token. It is interesting that once you win the token, you win the first one, you get the higher scoring token of the two, because that's the one you'd pick. But it's also going to be a negative for you to score the second one, so the other player will have a little bit of an advantage for that. I think this game plays fine at different number counts, and I think a lot of people are going to like this game, but not love it. So I think it's when I can round out a collection, but may not be the centerpiece of that collection. For us, it's going to be a Purge. Not enough there, not enough meat on the bones to keep us coming back. Here's the Great Wall of China. This is in the Fantasy Flight Games Silver Line collections. They're very small, skinny boxes. They released quite a few games like this. This is the Renier Kniza about the Great Wall of China. Open it up, you're going to get an advertisement. I love getting these and seeing what old games there were in 2006. So we have Marvel Heroes. We see StarCraft, Marvel Heroes. Again, I don't know why they felt like they need to do that twice. Blue Moon City Title, Iron World of Warcraft. That's kind of what they were pushing at the time. War of the Ring, I assume that's the first edition. Fury of Dracula, that's still being released. Warrior Knights, Descent is still out there. Twilight Imperium is still out there. There's a Runebound, the third edition's out now. Arkham Horror, they just put a new edition of that out. Mag Blast, Drakon, and Cave Troll. So it's interesting in Fantasy Flight, a lot of these games are still out, and they're still being produced currently. This is 2006. We're in 2020 right now. Here's the rule book. We'll take a look at that in a few minutes. You're going to get some tokens that you'll use. They're pretty good, pretty thick. Cards are really good. I like these type of cards. These are my favorite type of cards with a linen finish on them. They feel really good. You're going to get these in 5 different colors. You're going to have little thematic stuff, the art of the cavalry, and you're going to have the gate. There's a warrior there on it. But pretty much, the whole thing is just the number. And you're going to need to know the colors for the different players. If you're colorblind, good luck with this one. There's not going to be a lot to differentiate you. That's all the components there are. Here's the rule book, same shape as the box, same picture from the box. Gonna get a small introduction to the components. There's no pictures, but you don't need it for this one. Setup with no pictures once again. How to play. This is really more of how to win the game and end the game. Then you're going to see a picture of, this will be the turn right here. This is all you got to know right here to play the game. It's very, very simple. Then it goes a little bit more in detail and shows you a couple pictures here. This is going to be really kind of the confusing part. They're going to have a picture with an example here and a little bold for important. That's pretty good. Then an explanation of each card, what they do. Very simple stuff here, but they give you examples with pictures of how that does and how to win the game. Rulebook's pretty good. You probably can read this in probably 10-15 minutes, be up and running. Very simple stuff. And when you see Renier Kniza's name on it, you know you're going to get a scoring, mathematical game, but nothing too complicated. The game is very easy to set up. You take a pair of these tokens that would have been face down. You just want to make sure they're the same number, so you wouldn't want the 2 4s to be together in a 2-player game at least. That's what I'm going to set up here. It's a 2-player game, but for each player you would add another line. Then each player is going to get their cards in their color. You're going to shuffle these up and draw 5 from the top of the deck, and you are ready to play. The first thing you do on a turn is you check your progress. Obviously, there's no progress here, and then you can either play a card down, or you can draw a card from the top of the deck. So that's how that's going to work. I'll put the deck here just to unify it, but you can either play a card or draw a card. So on your turn, you have an option. The first thing you do is you check the progress of the wall. We'll get back to that right now. There's nothing, no cards down. I can either play a card or draw a card. So you just play a card, whatever set of these that you want to. If you happen to have identical cards, you could play both of those at the same time. That's one turn. but I couldn't play a card that was not identical. So I couldn't play these two twos because one has a horse and one has a gate on it. So that would not be a legal play, although this would be a legal play to play these two like that because they're the same. So let's say I just played these two sets of ones up there. I'm going to go. Now for my third action, I'm able to play again. Maybe I'll play this down here. Then it's next player's turn. They check their progress. Obviously, there's nothing there. And they will do the same thing. So let's say, maybe he plays a couple cards up there. And he will play a card like this down here. So now you just check to see if you made greater progress on the deck that you have here across the side. So let's say that this had been played. I'm not going to get into the powers yet. I'll go over the powers in a second. But 1, 2, 3, 4 to the 2. So you would take one of these and put it on your card. That's your top token that you have. Then it goes around again. You would see next time somebody would be trying to win this. When somebody wins the second one by having the greatest progress, then these come off. You will score these, and these cards will be out of the game. So progress is just having higher numbers than the other players. So to reiterate, the first thing you do is check to see if you've won a token, and then you play a card or draw a card, and then for the third action, again, you play a card or draw a card. There's some things about the cards I do want to show you. So the first thing you're going to have is a regular card. This is worth just 1 point. Then you're going to have the twos that have a gate on it, and those are just worth 2. So if you're adding these up, that would be 1, 2, 3. Then you're going to have the infantry, the ones with ones. If you place one infantry down, it is worth 1 point. Somebody play that down. I'm just signifying in the middle. Then if you play another one, this one is worth 2. So that these would be worth 3, 4, 5, 6. And that would continue on so forth. If you were to play a horse, the horse counts as 2 progress, but doesn't cost an action to play. You just can't play it at the end of the turn. So I could play this as an action, but it doesn't count. So I could play 2 cards on that turn. Which brings up the Watchtower. The Watchtower is the third. It's just worth 3 on it. That's all that it's worth. Then you have the Noble. The Noble counts as 1, but after playing this, all wall cards in the same section will count as 1. So that would really reduce my score. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Where if I had it before, my score would have been, say, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you want to be careful because this can take everything and make it a 1. The last card is the Dragon. Now you will usually play this over your opponent because it will nullify their card. So if somebody had like a 3 out and you really want to nullify it, you put the Dragon over it to signify that you're covering that up and it no longer scores and can add to your progress. The game will end in one of 2 ways. If somebody were to win or if all the tokens are gone, that will end the game. You just count the tokens, whoever has the most points win. Or if somebody plays all of their cards have been played, when it comes back to them and they can't play a card because they don't have any, the game will end. And that's the Great Wall of China. Who should buy this game? I think strictly maybe Renier Kniza fans. If you're a big fan of the Great Wall of China and you like that, I think that will pull you in a little bit more. Or if you just want a little light, cheap, moderately priced card game, you're counting a lot of numbers, you're having these powers that kind of activate. I think it's lined up to play with most people. A lot of non-gamers can pick this up and play. I think they'll have problems with it. You might want to print out your own little player aid with. I think that'll be helpful. But this is one of those games that has a wide, I'm surprised it's not in print. I mean, I am and I'm not. I'm surprised because it seems like it would have mass appeal, but I'm not surprised because there's 100 other games like it. Maybe do something a little bit different, but the same kind of concept. This is a classic Renier Kniza game to me. This is about what you would expect from him and what you're going to get. So for me, it's going to be a Purge. Not enough meat on the bones, but I think for some people, they're really going to like this one. There's going to be some people who like this, their card game. They're going to go to this one, and other people are going to be, it was alright. Thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate you tuning in. If you liked it, please like it and hit that little subscribe button. That really helps out the channel. Lets us know that you're getting the videos that you want. If you agreed or disagree with what I said, feel free to comment below. I'd love to hear what you have to say, and I promise that I will comment back. Thanks for watching, and everybody else, keep playing.